Hello. Hi everyone. This is Anupriya from QuantInsti, and we are very excited today to see so many of you. And I believe on the other side of the country is Nitin and Satyajit. I welcome them. Let's get started. Uh, I think we can already see their screen. So over to Nitin and Satyajit.
Hi, thanks Anupriya. Thanks everyone for attending the webinar. It's just crazy to see so many of you on this. Okay, so the whole objective of doing this is to kind of explain more about KiteConnect and how you can use it to programmatically access your trading accounts at Zerodha, right? So let me get started quickly, right? A small little sales pitch if any of you are not a Zerodha client out there, right? So we are a discount brokering firm, but I think we are more financial technology than a brokerage firm, right? So currently why you should open an account at Zerodha if you don't have one already is because we probably offer the best platforms in the country. We charge 0 rupees for investing with us, and we charge 20 rupees for any derivatives or intraday equity trades. We have over 175,000 clients today across the country, and we contribute a significant portion of the Indian stock market turnover, the retail turnover. And finally, we got many awards, and one of them, which we got recently, was the Economic Times Startup of the Year in the Bootstrap category. Right. So quickly, the agenda for today. I'll take you. I'll explain more on why we started KiteConnect and what was the reasoning behind it. And Satyajit, who is an engineer here, will explain how you can programmatically access a trading account, a Zerodha trading account using KiteConnect on Python, and also place orders, manage your positions, etc. So why KiteConnect? See, one of the big challenges that we as a business faced, like 3 or 4 years into the business, was that we just realized that we become like a big fish in a small pond. The big problem in India to solve today is how do you grow the very shallow retail market participation, right? And we kind of realized that it's just not enough for us to offer great trading platforms or run education initiatives for to grow the Indian market. It's just not enough, because see, today if you have you have an idea, you have a stock idea which you want to buy or sell, I think Zerodha probably is the best place to do it. If you don't have an idea and you have an intent to learn, we probably offer the best learning platforms in the country as well, right? But majority of the people don't have the bandwidth to learn, or don't have the don't know what stocks to buy or sell. So that's where originally the idea of Zerodha started, of KiteConnect started, which was to say, how about as Zerodha we built a great execution engine. How about if we open this up to startups? And that's where the whole concept of brokerage as a service came, right? So what we said was, here's Zerodha as a bunch of APIs, so you can come build your user experiences over it. I think all of us will agree that if we have to get the next 10, 20 million Indians to come invest in the markets, it cannot be just another charting platform with buy-sell buttons, right? I mean, it has to be a niche platform. So that's where the whole concept of KiteConnect came about. So also for a startup who has a niche idea today, today to become a broker in India, it's at least 1.5 years, 2 years from the time of ideating to the time of going live, right? And then once you go live, you still have to go ahead and get the clients open up accounts with you, which requires a lot of manual work. So today, everyone would agree, I guess, right? As in, startups have the money, but they don't really have the time. No one's got 2 years to wait to validate a business idea. So what we also said, what we also say to all the startups who have niche ideas around user experiences in investing and trading, is we can we can help our 175,000 clients can help validate this idea and let you know if it's a good idea or not. So so this was why KiteConnect started off. But then once we started, we also kind of realized that India has today I think just overtaken US in terms of number of software engineers in the world. So we have so many engineers who can't really put their skill set to use, and so we said, how about if we just opened up these APIs to software engineers who can actually put their skill set to use, to backtest strategies, to manage positions, and etc. So so that's essentially the reason why KiteConnect started. So today we have some of the startups who are actually working on using KiteConnect as small case who built a very niche thematic investing platform. Open Trade is is more like a social trading kind of platform. Balance, they're about to launch, where they built a niche experience using KiteConnect as well. And there are a few more startups who are working in stealth mode using KiteConnect. So, and then if you have already seen Kite.trade, we also opened up these APIs to all our clients. So our clients can now actually build their own custom trading platforms. I mean, as long as you have knowledge of programming knowledge, you can use it to build custom trading platforms. So so we charge for the platform. I mean, for the APIs. I mean, so we charge 2,000 rupees per month for using the using the APIs for all the order functionalities and position functionalities, and for the historical we charge another 2,000. So today, for all of you who haven't already signed up on Kite.trade, you can go sign up as a developer and use the coupon code as webinar 500. So you get a 500 rupee discount on the KiteConnect subscription as well, right? So what I'll do now is I'll quickly hand over the mic to Satya. So he's been a little nervous about taking this presentation to all of you guys. So he'll run by and show you how easy it is to kind of use KiteConnect to kind of build your own custom trading platform, right?
Hey, thanks again, Anupriya, for having this presentation, and thanks everyone for being here and what do you call watching us do this presentation. So let's get started. Let's get started in creating our own trading app. The first thing that before we do any of this, the base of this presentation would be to create a trading app, to trade, obviously to place orders, to get positions, holdings from it. And after that, we'll check out streaming. And once streaming data is done, we will go and look at a strategy. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what this presentation is going to be. So the first thing that you need to do to get started is to go to developers.kite.trade. So let me just go to my browser and let's get started with that. So here is a developer login, and here, let me. Right, so here is a test app that I had created for this, but let me go ahead and do it again. Here, as you can see, I have a bunch of credits, I mean, just to do a bunch of tests using Kite. So let's create an app. The first thing is app name. You can have anything you want to. Let's call it test app 1 or test app 1. Yeah. The second thing is redirect URL. So why do we need a redirect URL? The usage of this redirect URL would be when you log in, we revert back with a request token that you will be using it to get the access token. Might sound a bit jumbled up right now, but we will explain to you in complete detail once you get to the login part of things. But as of now, I'll use Kite.trade as my redirect. All right. You can use, let's say you have any site, xyz.com. So your redirect would be xyz.com/ redirect or whatever, where you will get the request token. Once you have the request token, then you can use it to go ahead and do the other parts of the login procedure. The next part is postback URL. So the jargon here, the whole meaning of postback URL is that when you place a trade, you need to be notified that the order has gone through, right? You need to know that there is a confirmation of the order, that the order got rejected, the reasoning of the rejection, all of that, right? You need a notification straight away, and this is postback. So this is us notifying you that the order has been placed. So I'm going to leave it blank right now because I won't be using it, but you would be mostly needing it. So yeah, so that's how you do it. So Zerodha client ID, this is a test client ID that I have that I'll be using. Description, test app for webinar. You can describe anything. So I'm going to create an app now. There you have it. So you can see test app 1, you can see an API key, and you can see an API secret, right? So now that we have this, let's go to the second part. Yeah. So I've shown you how to get the API key and API secret, right? This is it. This is API key and this is API secret. The last and most important thing of the slide is installing the KiteConnect Python library. So before I go there, let me explain to you what is this Python library. This is basically a wrapper around the KiteConnect APIs that we have built. And we wanted to make it very, very easy for anyone to start using the APIs. So we thought that, well, why let people use the JSON response and all of that. Let's wrap it around with a proper library, and so that it becomes extremely easy for anyone to implement with a very basic knowledge of Python, right? So that exactly like Python, we have the similar things built in Java, C#, Node, and we have put it up in our Kite documentation page on Kite Trade. So moving on. So breakdown of our trading app. As I said, the point of a trading app, of any trading app, is first is authentication, which is very important. It has to be secure, and I'll show you how we have made it secure. The second is you modify or cancel an order, you place an order. The third is, well, now that you have placed an order, you need to go and check if the order has gone through. What is the status of the order? After that, you want to check out your portfolio. You want to see what holdings you have, what positions you have. And then postbacks. As I said, postbacks is the notifications that you receive, and then log out. That's the basic of a trading app, right? No matter how complex it is, this is the base of a trading app, correct? So moving on, the most important URL of this entire KiteConnect is this api.kite.trade. This is what is the base URL of all the API interactions that you're going to do with KiteConnect. Right. So if you want to, let's say, place an order, it's api.kite.trade / like an order endpoint. So all of it starts with api.kite.trade. Right. So before we get started with KiteConnect and giving you a hands-on experience of how to use KiteConnect, let me give a basic explanation of how the KiteConnect request, response, exceptions, and everything work. So all of the requests that you receive on KiteConnect has a 200 status code if it is successful, and if it's a failed request, then you'll have a request code, a status code based upon what kind of failure it is. Then there is the exceptions, and this is one of the most important things here. So let's say you have the wrong access token, right? And you want to place an order. The order will not go through, right? But you need to know, as someone who is programmatically building an app, that what exception happened. And that is where the exceptions come in. So we have things like token exception, which is what is a token expiring. Let's say you have already logged out, but you want to place an order, right? So we need to notify you that the token has expired. So that is a token exception for you. There are things like input exception. You want to place an order, but you gave wrong inputs, like you forgot to not mention the quantity, right? That's very important from a programmatic point of view, to let a programmer know that there is an exception that has happened in his input, right? So these are the exceptions. There are various other exceptions that we have, and it's all documented extremely well on Kite.trade. So this is the login flow. So you remember I spoke about redirect URLs and how the login flow works. So this is your app. First, you start off with using the API key. We have already spoken about the API key. So using the API key, you redirect to Kite, right? This is where you need to enter your own user credentials, or the user that wants to use your app, he has to enter the user credentials. It's very, very similar to how a Facebook login works, right? So you click on it, you go and you enter your Facebook credentials, and you go back to wherever you click the button from, right? And that's how this is. So you have an app, you click on it, you go to Kite login. There you enter your credentials, your 2FA and all of that. Once that is done, we send a redirect back with the request token. This request token comes back to your registered redirect URL. You remember I registered it as kite.trade, and whatever URL you have, it will come back there with the request token. You use that request token along with the API key and do an HMAC on a hash of API key plus the request token plus the API secret. And you send it to KiteConnect API. You send it to our endpoint and we respond back with the user metadata and the access token. This is the basic of the login, basic authentication, how it works. And this is how we have made it secure. So let's get started with a hands-on experience of using KiteConnect, right? Okay. So the first thing I will do is install KiteConnect. If you don't know, pip is a package manager of Python. You can go to GitHub and directly download it and install from there, or you can just use pip install KiteConnect and install it directly from here, right? I already had it installed, and that's why it is showing. Sorry, it is successfully installed now. So I would suggest all of you to use IPython because it makes it very easy to write code on command line on the Python IDE. So the first thing we will do is import the library, right? We have a library that's called KiteConnect, right? Python KiteConnect. It's a wrapper around KiteConnect. So we need to import that first. So from KiteConnect, I'm going to import the library. We have that. Next thing we need to do is we have the API key and API secret, right? We need to store it somewhere because we might need to reuse it in a bunch of other places. You don't know. So might as well just keep it in a bunch of variables that you can reuse whenever you want, right? So let me go back here and take the API key, right? And this is the API secret. All right. Now that we have that, let's initialize KiteConnect. Done. What you're seeing here is a login URL with the API key. You can see this and this API key, they're obviously the same thing, same string. So we need to use this. We paste it on a browser. This is the login screen. I enter my 2FA. Okay, so this is the permission. Like this is another very important thing. Like when you're using Facebook, right? You get asked about permissions. Does the app want to access your Facebook friends or your profile and all of those information, right? So this is us saying you that these are the permissions that the app needs. It's up to you. You can say cancel. There's nothing is going to happen. The app can't use anything. You authorize the app can get access to and will get access to all your details. So we authorize it. As you can see, there's a redirect that's happened. Forget this page, just look at the redirect. You can see a request token here, correct? So let's copy the request token. Let's go back. So if you remember this flow, you see that we did this app. We went to Kite login, we got redirected, and now we have the request token with us. The next step is obviously to use the request token to get the access token, and that's what we're going to do. Request access token. We use a request token that we received, and we use the API secret that we have. So as you can see, there hash that is happening here, right? And that is being taken care of by the KiteConnect Python library. You don't have to do anything. This is all there is that you need to do. Request token, API secret. That's it. So now, if you see the response that you received from this, right, you'll see that there's an access token here. There is obviously the broker name. There is the email. There's also a very important thing, the exchanges. You'd know that which all exchanges that the user has been activated on, right? Then there's a login time. These are the various order types that we allow. There's a limit order, market order, stop loss. Then there is product types where there is bracket order, cover order, CNC, MIS, and NRML, right? This is another important thing called public token, and we'll be using this for streaming information. So let me do one thing. So let me take this public token. Let me go to the script I have written for streaming and paste it here. That's it. And let me take the API key. Don't bother about it. We will come back to streaming when we need to. All right. So now we are here. We have the access token. So let's set the access token. Right. So now our KiteConnect is ready to place orders, to get what do you call holdings, positions, order books, everything. It's all set. The user are authorized. You have the access token. So let's try to place an order, right? As you can see, when I press the tab here, you got like different function calls, right? These are order cancel, order place, order modify, and orders, right? So this is like a good thing, like an advantage of using IPython, right? You have all these options. You can just press tab, and that should take care of it. Okay, so we're here. So the basic order that we're going to place is, we'll have a trading symbol. Let's call it NV. It will have a quantity. So let's say 1. Exchange. All right. After that, we need the transaction type, which is your buy or sell. Okay. Then we have the order type. So as you saw here, the order types are limit, market, and all of that. Right? So we'll take order type as market. Okay. After that, product is, let's say, CNC. Okay. And yeah, that's it. So you have a trading symbol, you have quantity, you have exchange, you have a transaction type, you have order type, and you have product. You're done. That's it. Order placed. You want to see where the order went through? Let's go to Kite. You remember I logged in, right? So now I'm logged into Kite. Let's go to the order book. As you can see, entry buy has been placed. Obviously, it got rejected because the market is over and there's no margin. That's fine. But you can see that the order was placed, right? At 7.4. So you have placed the order and you got the order ID. That's the response that you get when you place an order. So now that anyone who is going to use this app, whenever he places an order, the two most important things that he needs. One is that he needs to know the order has been placed, which is why we have the Postbacks API. Other thing is that now that he has the order ID, he needs to know details about the orders, right? So you can use the Kite orders call, and this gives the details of the order. All right, pretty much everything that you need. If you want all the orders, you can just do this, and you'll get all the orders that have been placed. Orders that have been placed because we've been testing this, been doing this presentation a bunch of times. After that, the holdings call, and then there is the positions call. Right? There are no holdings and positions right now, which is why you're not seeing anything there. But this is what it is. This is as simple as it can get. This is obviously not all the API calls that we have. We have a lot more, and you can see that documented extremely well and in an exhaustive manner on kite.trade. And so moving on, back to the slides. Okay, so we are done with placing an order. We retrieved the order book. We also went and checked in Kite if the order has gone through or not. So everything is good now. The next step is another core factor of KiteConnect, that is instruments. Instruments is something that we created to deal with the various stock symbols and the contracts that we get. So let's say you have a Reliance symbol, right? So we have a particular instrument assigned to it, instrument ID assigned to it. You have, let's say, crude oil. We have a particular instrument ID assigned to it. You can get it from, so we have an instruments call for that, where you'll get a huge CSV dump of around 10 to 12 MB, from where you can get instrument ID of each and every stock or contract that is trading right now in the market, right? Why do we need it? We need it for streaming. So the idea was to make, the idea was to use this instrument ID to get the streaming information, right? The second place where we would be needing this is accessing historical data. So, we are providing historical data for the last 5 years, right? And that's how you're going to use the instrument ID. So moving on, we have WebSocket streaming. Okay, so now you know what's an instrument token, and what you need to learn right now is how to subscribe or unsubscribe data for an instrument. To explain in a most layman manner, a subscription is basically subscribing to a token and you're getting data for it. You don't want data for it, you unsubscribe from it. It's as simple as that, right? And there are different modes in which you can get the data. There is LTP mode, there is a quote mode, and there is a full depth mode. So LTP mode is 8 bytes, and we have optimized this a lot to make it consume less bandwidth. So let's say you don't need the full data, right? So you can use LTP, right? And that's more than enough. That will tell you what is the current closing price or what is the price that the stock is trading at right now, right? That's the last traded price. So let me give you an example of how streaming works. So I'm hoping that you can see this, but can? Yeah, I'm hoping this is visible. Okay. So as you can see from KiteConnect, we have imported WebSocket. We're using the API key. We're using the public token that we received when we did the authentication, and this is a user ID. Here we are initializing the WebSocket, and these are the bunch of callbacks that we need. So one of the callback is for tick reception. So the question is, why do we need a callback, right? So we need to assign a function which will be receiving data, streaming live data from the thread, right? So these are the functions that we are going to use. The basic one is the on tick, where you'll be receiving the ticks, and on connect, where you'll be subscribing. So as you can see, this is an instrument token. We spoke about instrument tokens, right? So this is one of the instrument token, and this represents crude oil 16 October future. And this is the mode. So we are mode full. That's it. So let's go and try to run this. So if you notice here, you can see that you're getting streaming data, right? You can see the last price, volume, sell quantity. This is mode full, right? That's why you're receiving all this data. If you go to mode LTP, you'll obviously receive less data, right? So this is us streaming data, and this is the function that you're receiving here is this. This is a callback on tick. So the basic mechanism of this is that we have a thread that is running that is pushing data onto this function, that is calling this function with the tick information, and you're just printing it out. So you can then go ahead and use it in any manner that you please for your strategies and for placing trades, all of that. So let me shut it down. We're done with that. The next step is, next thing that we need to discuss is Postbacks. So why do we need Postbacks? And I mean, it was a little difficult to implement it in the sense that to implement for this presentation, because for Postback you need a public URL, right? Because let's say, okay, let's take kite.zerodha.com, right? And you place an order. The postback comes back to a particular URL, which will display the notifications, right? This order was placed, this order was rejected, this order didn't go through, all those things, right? So let's say you are going to start up a startup called xyztrading.com. Then you have an endpoint saying xyztrading.com/postbacks, right? Where all the postbacks will be sent there. Then it's up to you to take the postback and do as you please. You can pop up a notification, you can place an order again. So now that let's say you place an order and the order did not go through. You got a postback saying that, hey, the order did not go through. So your next step in your strategy might be, let me place the order again, let me retry, right? So that's one of the big, what you call, usage of postbacks. We are trying to actually make the postbacks go through on the WebSockets itself, so that you don't need a separate postback URL to make it work. Maybe it will be out in a couple of weeks, if not more. So yeah, this is the links and references. But before we get there, as promised, implementation of a strategy. Well, honestly, I'm no strategist. I'm terribly bad at trading, and so this is something that this is just a moving average strategy that I implemented. And the reason to do this was not to show you a strategy, not to show off a strategy. There's no such, we don't want to do that. The point of this entire webinar is about showing you how easy it is to place an order from your strategy. You want to fire orders from your strategy, right? It doesn't matter. You can make it as complex as you want to. But at the end of the day, if we make the order placement to be a very, very easy process, then it's win-win for both of us, right? So you have, so I have shown the API key, access token, client ID, and all of this has been described here. So you have the instrument token of Reliance. This is. I have the dates between which we need the historical data. Yeah, so this strategy will be using historical data. So I am taking from date as 1st of October till yesterday. The interval is 5 minutes. You can have a minute, day, 3 minute, 5 minute, any amount. We have a bunch of types of intervals that you can use. Yes, then so we, again, as I said, that time we initialize KiteConnect. We set the access token. Everything is done. Let me go here and get, let me go here and get the access token. Just a minute. So you notice that when we did a login, we got the access token, right? So let me go and get the access token there. You know what? Let's do this again. Let's log in and try this whole thing again. Huh? Get the access token. So we have the request token here. We take that. It's pretty much the same procedure. And then we use the API secret. That's it. So we have this new access token. Let's go here and let's paste the access token. Okay, all set. Right. So this is a function to get historical data. So one of the big issues that, not issues, one of the many questions that we receive on one particular matter is that, why am I not getting historical data? I have paid for it, I'm not getting historical data. That's because you need to go to Kite.trade and you need to enable historical feature there. Otherwise, you will not receive historical data. That's the first thing you need to remember about historical data is going and enabling it there, right? So this is the function call to get historical data. This is an instrument token. This is a from date, to date, and the interval. Interval is the 5 minute, 3 minute thing, whatever you want to. This is the basic strategy. It's a moving average thing. So I'm presuming that many of you would know what a moving average is. And if you don't, that's fine too. What I want to show is not the strategy. What I want to show is how easy it is to place an order. So, but to give you an overview of the strategy, it's basically whenever there is, you calculate the moving average, and whenever there is a crossover, you place a trade. That's most crude way of explaining how this moving average works. But so this is a function that does the order placement, place order, and this is kite.order place with trading symbol, exchange, and everything. So let me run this strategy. Let me run this again. So what this should do is get historical data. Then it would call the strategy with the records. The strategy will go through all the historical data that is there in this records one by one, and it calculates the moving average. And then once you backtest it, it gets you like a gross profit, and then you place an order of your last what do you call last calculated order type, transaction type. Let's say finally your strategy gave that, you know what, place a buy order or place a sell order. This is what it does: place an order. That's it. So going back to this. All right. Give me a sec token. I think. That's it. If you have heard that beep sound, that is the notification sound on Kite Trade, kite.zerodha.com. So just to go here, this is where I stored all the output. That is strategy.txt, right? Let's place new order, exit buy, place new sell order, exit sell. I mean, you always have to be in a position, right? That's the whole idea of behind moving average, or at least how I understand it. And once you're done with that, this is a gross profit that it calculated. Let's say I made 1,000 rupees. I'm sure that the net profit, along with the charges and everything, would come down to be very less. And this is obviously not the best strategy out there. Neither am I the best strategist out there. But still, the point was that we have a strategy, which is this function. We have two lines. One is a place order function in which there is only one line, that is placing an order, right? Here there's a transaction type that keeps saying, you know, buy, sell, right? And then there's a trading symbol which will remain fixed, but you can keep changing it if you want to. You can just say that, you know what, I want a completely different trading symbol. So you can pass a different trading symbol to it, and you can add here. And that's it. So now you have the strategy running for different symbols and different transaction types, right? And that is how simple KiteConnect is, right? Just to show you that where the order got placed, this is the Reliance cell that we just placed right now. Okay. So yeah, these are the links and references that you'll be needing. You can find pretty much every single thing on Kite.trade. We have libraries. We'll be very soon putting out a library on Java. So the most and very, very important things of KiteConnect is open source. Right? So we have open source libraries of PyKiteConnect. So you can take it, you can do whatever you want with it, you can modify on it, you can, you know, fork it, whatever. It's up to you, right? It's up to you. And one more thing that I forgot to mention here is the KiteConnect documentation, right? So if you go to the GitHub page of KiteConnect, right? So this is the GitHub page of Python KiteConnect. And here you'll find the Python client documentation, right? And it's extremely extensive. It covers every single function out there, and that should take care of everything for you. And in case you have any doubts, we have a forum on Kite.trade where it's a very active forum where so this is the Kite Trade forum. It's a very, very active forum where all of us, the developers here, go and answer whatever queries you have. So yeah, knock yourself out and build the next big trading platform that can be possible. Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, Satyajit, thanks so much. That was a brilliant presentation. I myself learned a few things. Yeah, so we have been receiving a lot of questions from the audience. And before we go to the audience, we would actually like to also introduce our CEO, QuantInsti CEO, and speak a few lines about EPAT as well. So just hold on for 2-3 minutes, and then we will open the floor for Q&A. And I would like to thank the audience for their patience so far, and for so many questions, billions of questions that they have shared with us. So just give me a second, and Nitesh Khandelwal, our CEO of QuantInsti, will be joining soon. Just a second.
Um, just a voice check first to make sure that I'm audible here. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. So this is Nitesh Khandelwal this side, thank you, Nitin, for taking a wonderful session on this is programmatic use of. Sorry, I'm getting a lag here. So if you can bear with me for a second. So yeah, so just hold on for a minute, and we should continue here. Just please hold on for a minute. Hello, everyone. So I hope it's all good now, and you can see my screen as well. So thank you, Nitin and Satyajit, for taking a wonderful session, thank you, Anupriya, for the kind introduction. So today's session on programmatic usage of Python for trading in Indian markets, I believe there have been a lot of things that we have covered, and how we can use programming for trading strategies on a very user-friendly environment, which is Kite API. So I hope that's gone great so far, and we have received thousands of questions, I would guess, over here. So pardon me if we are not able to answer all the questions, but we will try to cover as many as possible. And while our team is assimilating all the questions, we will just run through a brief on what we have been doing here at QuantInsti, which is very aligned with what we have been discussing in the webinar today. So I'll just give you a brief about QuantInsti, which has been involved into democratizing algorithmic trading since 2010. So QuantInsti has been one of the lead education provider in the domain of algorithmic and quantitative trading, not just in India but globally, with thousands of students who have benefited from the programs taken by QuantInsti. And it's not just the program that we have, the training programs that we have, but numerous amount of events that we keep on doing, both online as well as offline, across the globe, and especially in South and Southeast Asia. So which has been quite encouraging for us as well as for the participants so far, the way they have learned a lot of things over there. And a lot of focus is on the technology, which is using the technology for quantitative trading, for algorithmic trading, and how the same can be used for not just execution sake, but also for your for the optimization as well as testing and working out. So basically, putting the scientific logic in the trading side. So it's not just you see something and buy or sell, but you let the statistics and the science do the work for you. So, and it has been a comprehensive domain that we have been covering, not just the trading aspects, but even the business aspects of it, the skill sets which are required not just for trading, but for running a trading business. So thousands of traders, brokers, consultants, and professionals in the financial markets have successfully trained using QuantInsti's programs. So QuantInsti's flagship program is Executive Program in Algorithmic Trading. EPAT, as we call it, and it's a 6-month-long online program. It's a comprehensive program which is focused towards the quantitative and algorithmic trading. It has like statistics, it has econometrics, it has financial computing, R, Python, MATLAB, as well as the other basic programming as well as backtesting tools. And it also involves numerous amounts of different kind of strategy paradigms, trading strategy paradigms, which can include market making, statistical arbitrage, machine learning based trading strategies, momentum based trading strategies, actually everything under the realm of algorithmic trading. So at least the strategy paradigm, almost all of it is covered over there. And the good part, the best part about this program is that it is a practitioner-led program. So you have a pool of like more than a dozen faculty members, which includes the likes of Dr. E.P. Chan, Dr. Hui Liu, Rajiv Ranjan Bora, Dr. Eve Hilpish. So all these guys who have their own authority in the algorithmic trading and quantitative trading space, not just in a particular geography, but across the globe. And this is complemented with a regular and 24/7 access using our New Age Learning Portal, which is supported by our dedicated support team. So any queries that you have, they are aligned, they are answered to within a very short turnaround time period. And these are some key aspects of EPAT, which includes the practical exposure. So you acquire the knowledge, tools, and techniques used by traders in the real world. You have the domain experts, as I said, and we also have career services. And the career services are not just limited to the placements as such, but also for your, if you're running a business, if you want to set up your own desk, you want some guidance over there, or you want some connects, or you are looking out to raise some funds, anything. So that's a complimentary service that comes with the EPAT program for all our participants. And it's a certificate-oriented program, which is provided by QuantInsti, and all the lectures are live lectures conducted over the weekend, targeted towards working professionals, so we understand their tight schedule, and that's why all the sessions are conducted on the weekends and also recorded. So they are all recorded and available to all our participants for rest of the period of 6 months during which the program continues. As I said, for the placements, this is the current openings distribution. Just a brief snapshot which I got before the webinar from the placement team. So this includes various paradigms, be it algo trader, quant trader, equity sales, research analyst, or advisory, or derivatives analyst, derivatives trader, all of that. So we have like most of the leading firms as our empaneled on our placement services services cell. And this is like, as I said, that you get a global exposure of through the practitioners from across the globe, and all these practitioners are the very strong names within the industry. They are known for their books that they have written, for the funds that they are running, which has been generating like humongous returns. So we have instructors from Canada, United States, Germany, India, Singapore, and many more who are joining the bandwagon now. And not just like our instructor base, we have even wider alumni base, so which has more, it's across more than 30 countries now, across all the 6 inhabited continents. So we are very proud of our alumni base who have learned the tricks of the trade of the quantitative and algorithmic trading, and they have, a lot of them have been successfully trading in the individual capacity as well as created their own institutions or proprietary trading desks or in different geographies, and focusing on the quantitative and algorithmic trading space. So that would be all, and I would also take this opportunity to let you know about our next session, which will be an informative session on algorithmic trading to be conducted on November 3, 2016, and the time is 6:30 p.m. IST. And you can also follow us on Facebook at QuantInsti, Twitter at QuantInsti, LinkedIn at QuantInsti, and YouTube at QuantInsti. So we have all these channels. There are like huge amount of resources which you can use, which you can go through, be a part of discussion, or the videos that you can see for educational videos that lets you know about algorithmic trading. So we shall be sending you across the links to the participants who request this, request the details, so we can send it over to you. So just let us know on or just fill in any query form on quantinsti.com. All right, so we will probably from here take on the questions for that's been asked.